Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Milan Weekly Podcast channel on this episode of the Milan Weekly Podcast. Are you having trouble sleeping? Doctors will prescribe Milan versus Juve, the guaranteed way to be put to sleep. Some side effects, as you might experience, are snoring, heavy breathing, excessive drooling, dry mouth, bad breath, grinding teeth, eyes bleeding, erectile dysfunction, upset stomach, indigestion, diarrhea, and it could cause you to be under the belief that Emerson Royale is a professional footballer. All this tonight is on the Milan Weekly Podcast. We're going to talk the Milan Juve game. We're going to get through all of Serie A. We're going to get through the preview of our next Champions League. And Fonseca. We got to talk about him. Ibra, have you lived long enough to turn from a hero to a villain? Ladies and gentlemen, before we start and you're here, you got to do us a solid, do us a favor, do yourself a favor. Subscribe to the Milan Weekly Podcast channel. Make sure you smash the like button. Hit that notification bell so you're up to date with all of our latest videos. Follow us on all of our socials, especially our Instagram, our Twitter, our YouTube, your sister's ass, and your mother's you know what. You got to be there and follow us on Patreon if you want to help support the channel. Stevie, are you ready for the intro, baby? Let's bring this in, baby. We're having a little music issue, but we're just going to push through. Fabio here, joined by, of course, Stevie and Gio. I'm filling in for the great Vinny T, who's busy working hard. So big ups to Vinny. Steve,
Vinny's still on the pregame show from this week.
So Vinny fell asleep pregame, missed the whole game, and he showed up at work. But Stevie, how you feeling tonight, man? How are you?
Guys, I'm really happy to be on. The game was shit, and I can't wait to talk about it. We're a small podcast that runs into issue after issue. Now we have this bullshit problem with the music that we got to fix. We got to make our own music. We do our own sound effects. That's why we do this shit. No one could do what we do. No one could do what we do. And with this positive attitude, we're so good that Gio looks white tonight.
Gio, how are you feeling, man? I don't feel triggered with all the side effects of the drugs. I know one of them might have tickled your fancy. How you feeling tonight, man?
I mean, I needed therapy, so I told Vinny T, you take a day off. I told Jan, I need this, brother. I need more therapy than you guys because these guys got me going berserk. But I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good, man.
All right, so let's get into it, guys. All right, so obviously we're naming the show here Trouble Sleeping because this was a snooze fest. But let's kind of talk what we saw going into the game. All right, we had no Pulisic because he wasn't 100%. So then all of a sudden we were going with a Musa playing right wing, and then our RLC filling in there. We got Gabia back, Big D Gabia back. So what were your thoughts, Steve, kind of looking at this game before it started?
Why the hell do we always keep on changing things? That's exactly what I thought. And I get the whole, we have, Pulisic not 100%, and we're gonna put in Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Like, I want to see Fonseca have some sort of plan. And I didn't like this lineup. I thought it was a safe lineup. It's, again, once you put Ruben Loftus-Cheek inside, it seems like it's a call out, or I'm not going to play offense today.
I mean, there was no offense to be found in this game. So it definitely, but gee, looking at the lineup, what were your thoughts going in? Did you think, because again, we look at Fonseca's team, it seems that in the big games, they've been showing up against Real Madrid, against Inter. We're struggling against the lower clubs. But what were your thoughts going in? Did you have any expectation that we were going to at least try to churn one out here?
Nah, I messaged you, Fabio. I even talked to you like the night before, saying like, "What the hell is Loftus Cheek and Musa at right wing? Like, how are we gonna attack with guys that can't even pass the ball forward?" Loftus Cheek made one pass forward, and I was surprised. I almost fell off my couch, to be honest with you guys, because everything is like we're on a break, and what would he do? Pass it backwards. Like, so I know having those guys, we're going to be struggling, and struggling we did. And Fonseca didn't even make moves. Like, you want to bring in like an attacking sub, who's at 100% of Chukwueze with the last 7 minutes. I mean, this was a snooze fest, and I knew something was going to go wrong, Fabio, because the manager doesn't know what he's doing. He's talking about he doesn't know that his tactics or offensively. But bro, how are we gonna attack with those two guys, Loftus Cheek and Musa? Come on.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to go more in depth in what we saw from Fonseca this game and kind of what's been going on with him. But in regards to the players, man, I mean, there was nothing. I mean, I guess it's more of obvious that we used to kind of rely completely on Leao, right? And if Leao doesn't create a piece of brilliance or they don't work through the left side with him and Theo, we don't produce anything. But it seems like we've become extremely reliant on Pulisic, and picking up a little knock right before the game started seemed to just completely throw the whole team off. But Steve, I mean, in regards to what you saw, why does Loftus Cheek keep getting the opportunity to play? I know we can kind of fall back on the idea, who the hell else is it going to be? But we seem like we keep going back to the same water with the same players and expecting different results.
I'm convinced that Fonseca was worried about this game. I don't know why. And that's the lineup that he showed, right? We had Gio mentioned Chukwueze, and at a certain point, we had the best right-hand side in the world, Chukwueze and Emerson Royale on the same side. What a fantastic right-hand side that we had, guys. It was stellar. It was like a Formula One track meet. It was fucking shit. It was fucking terrible. And that's why we have no choice. But let's face it, guys. Let's face it. Fonseca has his problems. But these guys don't show up. Like Chukwueze has had time, a chance after chance after chance. And again, I know that it wasn't put in the best situation today. But they don't get any help from there, and it's hard not to talk about Fonseca because there's so much that went wrong. Even when he made the changes, there's so much that went wrong. He pulled Pulisic out to the left-hand side where he usually doesn't play. You need to put him in a place, especially if he's not 100%. Put him in a place where he's going to create some damage, and it is on the right-hand side. Move on from the Moratas, that are on the floor all the time, and you're whipping in crosses in the box where there's no one there to get on the back of these balls. So Morata's not getting on the back of the ball, holding it and dishing it off to someone. He's not getting a head on it. He's not getting a foot on it. So then why are we whipping in crosses, guys?
Yeah,
it just doesn't make sense, Fabio and Gio. Like, we had Giroud. Giroud's not there anymore, right? So I keep on screaming at the TV, like, create something different. But something different doesn't come together in the final third, because like in the Pioli days and like now, in the final third, we're completely out of ideas. If it's, like you said, not a combination play or a play on the run or in the transition where we catch everybody off guard, we're not creating in the final third. We're not going and being dangerous and using different options. It's all, let's regurgitate the ball and put it across. We're on the counter attack. Let's regurgitate the ball again, and we're gonna put it across, and it's not gonna hit anybody. So you could put Musa there. You could put even David Beckham there if you want, guys. Yeah, if there's no one to get ahead on the ball, you're not going to create anything in that box. You're not dangerous.
I agree. It seems like they keep doing the exact same thing over and over again. Let's do top and flop before we get really into Fonseca here. But do you have a top for this game, Gio?
No, I don't have no top, man. I mean, Fabio, I have a flop, but I have two flops, man. One is a cadaver named RLC, and the other one to me, but I don't know if it's him or it's the manager. Fofana, you cannot play one game good and then one game bad, one game good. No. This is not a seesaw, bro. Either get your ass together or what's going on, because you were trying to hold on to the ball too much, and just because it worked the last game, it's not going to work. This is Serie A. This league is tactical. A lower coach can out tactic you, and you're going to lose the game, or or even draw to a lesser team than you. To me, I mean, I don't know. Fofana, to me, I didn't like how Turan basically outclassed him to be in the midfield. He was taking his cookies. So I'll give it to both of them, to be honest with you.
Stevie, who you have? Do you have a top at all, or I mean, it's very hard.
Top just because I have him in my Fanta Calcio and he came back from injury, and I think they played well. And I'm going to take Gabbia on this, and that's because it probably one of the easiest games to come back from injury because you almost had nothing to do. Because as much as Milan did nothing, Juve, the almighty Juve, did shit fuck all either.
Yeah, they played with Coop Minders as a false nine. That's what we had to deal with. And he's hurt us in the past when he was on Atalanta. But this game, they didn't do anything. Juve had one opportunity that, again, if they had converted, that typical push to the right side, push to the byline, and then cross. And as usual, our left side is wide open. But thank God somebody was able to. I think I want to say it was Chow who got in front of the ball who prevented it.
Yeah, right? When Conceição shot the shot, he threw his body on the line.
That's the only thing that Juve really had an opportunity, but that was their opportunity. They score that one. They're happy to park the bus, and we're not breaking it down because a low block and Milan, we have no idea how to break it down. We still haven't. This is a multi-year thing running. Who's your flop though, Steve? Who's the worst of the worst for you?
The worst of the worst. I'm gonna let you guys go because for the worst of the worst, because I'll segue over to your next segment with the worst of the worst.
All right. So my top, and this is only because I felt like he, at least when he came on, I know somebody was saying, why were you resting Pulisic? But Pulisic wasn't 100%. So he came in the last 20 minutes, and I thought he was attempting to do something when most of the rest of the team wasn't doing anything, and Gabbia is a good other call for the top. My flop, though, is Morata. He is spending too much time on the floor, too much time always looking for a call. This is not La Liga. This is Serie A. You have to stay on your fucking feet and make something happen. You have 3 goals so far this season. We need you to find the back of the net more, and you can't find the back of the net if your ass cheeks are on the floor, okay? So stay on your feet, and we got to do something better. But yeah, let's segue into the next one because Fonseca, what the hell was he thinking? Steve, I'll let you start here. Fonseca, the tactics of this game, what we've been seeing so far, 13 weeks in, what the hell is he thinking?
I don't know, and he's my flop. He's my flop because, like I said, you're bringing in Pulisic. He's been our best player. He is our best player right now. At least put him in somewhere where he's going to succeed. Don't put him in somewhere where he's going to have to. You put him in the middle of the park where he's going to have to run all over the place with a knock. You're asking for it. You're bringing in Chukwueze with almost no time left. Playing on the right-hand side with Emerson Royale and then with Calabria. You're asking Juve to just continuously come up their left side and never go on the right-hand side. He doesn't understand what Milan is, guys. And it's very obvious he doesn't understand what Milan is. When you coached and you did not succeed at Roma, you cannot succeed at Milan. And I'm saying this with all due respect because I understand that it's a difficult job. It's a difficult thing to to be a manager, especially nowadays. But you have to be able to come in and implement some sort of system, something that you're an identity. And we've had shows like this in the past. Who are we, Fabio and Gio? Who is Milan? We don't know anymore. The players don't know what they want to be. The coach doesn't know what they want to be. The management doesn't know what they want to be. And I've already said it. Guys, send it to him. Send the fat guy from Montreal wants to know, Jerry, do you understand what it means to be Milanista? And maybe your answer is going to be no. And I respect that because you've forked out the money. It's your money, it's your club. But North American sports and European sports is two different animals. We're people here, we get on the show, we make our own intro music because we're always getting copyright bans from these random places that we subscribe to. But we're doing it because we love Milan. And I just feel like there's something, like there was something about Pioli that at a certain point it changed. And I was not a Pioli guy. Guys, I was not. I was against that hiring. But there's something along the line that changed. It looked like he cared. It looked like he was trying to put in something, some kind of identity. And you were a team that was going to go after you at 110%, minus one guy. Now with Fonseca, my father always told me, when you look at someone and he has trouble looking at you in the eyes, it's not someone who's there for the right reasons. And I just think that it sucks because he was not the team's first choice. And now he's left to put together a piecemeal something together that, with a 30-something-year-old striker, and I forgot, I think it's someone put it in the chat. We went backwards in the striker department when we had a 37-year-old Giroud.
Yep.
But at that point, guys, at 19 points, 10, 11, whatever points we are away from the top, let's at least start injecting some youth. Play the kid. If you're gonna make him, not gonna make him play at the Futuro to sit on your bench. Just make him play. Were we gonna be a little bit more dynamic with him in there? Like, worst case scenario, take out Morata, put in Tammy Abraham. He's tall. He might burn a couple of goals, but at least he's tall. Still doesn't even make that change.
But why play Loftus-Cheek? Why not play Tammy and Morata together like we did at the beginning of the season? It seems.
Are you crazy? Are you crazy, Fabio? Do you want us to think outside the box in that coaching staff? You want us to be aggressive at home against Juve, who are 10 points ahead of us, Fabio? Yeah. Oh, no. Fonseca says no, my friend.
Yeah. It baffles me that he doesn't look at things that were successful and try to repeat them. He tries to reinvent the wheel every time he does something. But Gio, Kim had a good comment I want to put on blast here because it's going to be echoing how you feel, right? Kim said, I'm done with all the excuses about giving time to Fonseca. Look at Napoli, Juve, Lazio, Fiorentina. They all got new coaches. Don't forget Torino. And what's the other team that gave us trouble in the first 2-3 games of the season? Udinese, new coach as well. And guess what? They're all above Milan. They need time? No. So, your thoughts on Fonseca, man?
My thing with Fonseca is he got to go, man. I mean, bro, like he's talking about scoring offensive. That's what we like during the game. Well, you put two guys who are not offensive. So, like, bro, I think he's out of his depth. I don't think he knows what he's doing. I mean, the pressure, everything, we feel it as fans. You know what? I don't know what it is, like, but to put on that jersey, it weighs a lot, and it's crazy. And I told you, like, 2 weeks ago, Fabio? I don't know when the last time I was on, but I told you, if you don't want to spend money on Italian players, that's fine, but at least get a manager that's Italian, to be honest with you, because at least he's going to know the culture. He's going to know how Serie A is, how you're supposed to play. But you don't want no Italians, and you don't want to manager or even a manager that knows the league. I mean, Fonseca didn't really know the league because he sucked at Roma. Like, let's be honest. But it's just disappointing, man. Especially with the whole management knowing that. To me, I said it from the beginning. I wanted Palladino. I felt like Galliani said that he seen him in his dream. And remember, he said that about Ancelotti. Hey, and I was sold after that, to be honest with you. I was sold after that. But to me, it's just disappointing. You say, well, we couldn't score because of the tactics, but look who you put in. I think it is done. His time is done, Fabio. They shouldn't be giving them 2 more games. And then when they're giving you, say, okay, if you don't do these 2 good games, if you don't win these 2 good games or this and this, your job, then, bro, like, why are you keeping him here, to be honest with you also?
Yeah. It's quite sad. It's always a lot of excuses. Even Kim putting again, even can even put Bologna up there. They're a point behind us with a new coach, and more importantly, lost 2 of their star players in Xerxes and Calaflor. I mean, after what they looked like this weekend, you see they're not still doing as well. But the idea, I think, that this management didn't understand that an Italian coach, besides being some of the best coaches in the world in Serie A, you need to have an Italian coach to succeed. This is not my opinion. It's a fact. When 24 out of the last, 26 seasons have been won by Italian coaches, how the fuck do you go out there and you get the Mask of Zorro from Portugal? I don't understand it, because there are other coaches you could have went for, other things you could have done. They went the cheap route like they do with players. This is like a systemic thing across the entire club that, unfortunately, one great year, guys, a miracle year, is going to put us back possibly another 10 years. I hope it's not true. I hope I'm just being a little over the edge. But unfortunately, we're progressively getting worse from that Scudetto, and it should worry everybody. But all in all, Fonseca still hasn't been fired. He's going to be there tomorrow night. We're going to talk about the next game, but before that, we have to. Let's get this in here. The audio's back. This segment is brought to you by Football Canada, the home of Serie A and the Premier League and everything else that you want from Calcio. You can watch even the games with the Italian audio. Check them out, Football Canada. All right, Steve, before we go, you know what we got to do. When it's time for Fubu,
Squilly di trompe.
All right, let's start. First game, our cousins, Inter. They traveled to Verona, and they wasted no time. 5 goals in the first half put this game to bed. A double by Thuram. Even Correa started the goals. He hasn't gotten a goal. God knows how long. I didn't even know he was still on the team. But 5-0, Steve. What are your thoughts here, Verona, Inter?
Inter took care of business. They have injuries too. We can't complain about the injuries. They're rolling along. That's how you get rid of a team that's going to probably put a low block in front of you. Even the barbecue king himself, Correa, scored.
That's right. They have their own barbecue guy. Speaking of barbecue guy, we'll get to him a little bit later. But obviously, Milan Juve, we're going to jump over that one. Snooze fest. Parma hosting Atalanta. They tried to make it a game, but Atalanta just riding high. Retegui getting on the sheet. And, of course, Lookman finding the net as well, 3-1. G, any thoughts on Parma, Atalanta?
I mean, shoot, they were struggling at the beginning of the season, but Gasparini put that sauce back in that water, and he got him on the roll. He got him on the roll, man. He got him on the roll, man. And look at Atalanta. Just picture this is how we should be acting. Their main striker goes down, they go by Retegui in the next 2 days. That's how we should be acting. Scalvini goes injured, they go by somebody else. That's how we should be acting. But Atalanta looking like they're gonna be there. And look, they that juice, they coming back already. So their depth is gonna be crazy. They're gonna have Scamacca, they're gonna have Scalvini. soon, once again, it's gonna be crazy, Fabio. I don't know. I'd rather them win it. No, you know what? Hell no. I'd rather not them win it because I hate Gasperini so much. But hey, they're cooking on all cylinders.
All right, speaking of cooking, we had a couple of trompetas in this one. Genoa, new coach, hosting Calgary. And again, Calgary, you can't keep them down. They do not go down without a fight. They end up getting the tying goal. Again, both their goals come from penalties, but they get the goal late in the second half. This one I saw some of. It was pretty exciting. Balotelli ended up getting in the game late, but it was back and forth, 2-2. Well, any thoughts on this one, Genoa and Calgary, Steve?
Look, Patrick Vieira takes Gilardino's spot. We'll see what Genoa does, but Cagliari is a time machine. Put some money on Cagliari.
Yeah, they're doing well. Keep scrounging up points from Genoa needed the win as well, so get those 3 points taken away. It was definitely big time. All right, Chi, this is your moment to shine here. Your boy, the original Milan barbecuer, finds the net. Como hosting Fiorentina, and Palladino keeps the Fiorentina train rushing along. Goal by Adley to start us off, and then Moise Kean also finds the back of the net. 2-0. Thoughts on this one, G and Fiorentina?
I mean, just I'm not happy to see Palladino do good. I thought he always had the talent to do good, but he got him cooking. Look, Moise Kean was dead. Look at him. He went to PSG. He went to Everton. He went back to Juve, and look how many goals he got now. That's a manager that's going to get the best out of the players that he has, and I think that they're looking good, man. And I don't know, everybody that we basically gave away this summer looking good. Nah, I think we the problem, bro. We the manager. Maldini doing good, Adley doing good, Kalulu doing excellent. But look at that. But
I'm the problem. Is me.
But yeah, man. I didn't think that they would be able to keep it up. But Fiorentina, they're getting the wins, and that top 4 spot's gonna be tough. Fabio, I've been telling you, last 2 years, Serie A, we're getting back up there. The talent is coming out of the league.
It's definitely getting harder, but another 3 points for Fiorentina in the bag. Let's go to the next one. A little. Only 1-1 in this one. Torino hosting Monza. Monza desperately needing points, dropping our poor Nesta. I don't know how much longer he's going to last if he hasn't been fired yet. He gets a valuable point here behind Juric scoring in the 63rd minute. Both goals came in the second half. Probably not very exciting game, but any thoughts on Monza Torino? Steve?
These are the games that everybody wishes they come out with 3 points, but it ends at a tie, and probably a tie is just.
All right, let's go to the next one. This one probably looked more entertaining on paper. Napoli hosting Roma, but with the state of way Roma is and Conte getting this Napoli going, only one of these is what was needed. And of course, it was Lukaku in the 54th minute that gave Napoli the 3 points. Any thoughts, guys? Either one, whoever wants to go first on this one.
I mean, Conte got them cooking, man. I mean, and that's all they needed. They needed that one goal, and it's crazy, man. He got them cooking, man. I mean, sure, I wish we were cooking like Fiorentina, Napoli, and all these other teams, but hey,
everybody's cooking. Gio, everybody's cooking. Everybody's cooking.
We're ordering from McDonald's. That's all we get. So, any thoughts on Napoli, Steve, before we move on?
Again, very Napoli type of game there. I think the saving grace for Milan is how bad Roma is. Because if Roma would be doing any better, we would be just getting massacred in the papers and everything, and rightfully so. If someone did a worse job in the offseason than Milan, it was Roma.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, speaking of doing pretty well, three goals from Lazio. Strasbourg, Steve, somewhere is dancing up a storm. Just put a hurting on Bologna. A big second half, a bunch of goals. Marco Baroni is doing wonders with Lazio, Steve. I mean, this, again, another Italian coach doing well, taking over what was a struggling club. Now they seem to be hitting on all cylinders.
That's when you know it's a problem. When Lazio's doing better than you, you know it's a problem.
All right, so let's get to the games from today. Empoli Udinese ends up being 1-1. The only thing that I can mention here is that Empoli's goal scorer, Piero Pellegrini. This is a former Milan player who was only on Milan for about, 5 or 6 months before he got shipped out in 2021 or 2022. I can't remember what year it was. But this is his third consecutive game with a goal, his third of the season. Ends up getting Empoli a valuable point. Empoli not that far, down the table. Udinese is still in a good spot. Both of them, I believe, are in the top 10 or 11. So, for in the middle of the pack there. Did either one of you guys get to check out this game at all? No. All right, well, we'll move on. Last game was Lecce traveling to Venezia, and they ended up getting their only goal of the game. Drogu at 70th minute ends up getting Lecce the valuable 3 points. Let's
Giampaolo, il
Giampaolo.
grande Giampaolo.
Oh, he's the coach of Lecce now, right? Wow! Congratulations to Giampaolo, his first points of the season. I mean, God, these things really put us back. All right, so obviously here the update is just that Udinese and Empoli are now on 17 and 16, and Lecce now sitting at 12 points, so that gets them a little higher, up to 14th or 15th place, I guess. But let's look at the table here. Napoli still sitting at the top with 29 points. Atalanta now sitting in second place with 28, tied with Inter, Fiorentina, Lazio. So second to fifth, all tied with 28 points. Juve sitting at sixth with 25th. And surprise, surprise, our bum Milan sitting in seventh place. I mean, I'd say, what's the most shocking thing? It's got to be us. We're terrible. Is there anything more shocking here, Steve, when you look at this? Yeah, remember, guys, this is week 13. There's only 38 weeks in the Campionato. So this is a third of the season we're already past. 4 games Champions League, 13 in the Scudetto. So, in the Campionato, excuse me. So, this is a valuable time to look at these teams, giving a real standing of what type of team they actually are. So, what are your thoughts when you see this, Steve? Any surprises? What you kind of expect? Anything?
I stand by what I said at match day 7, which is earlier than I would usually say it. They had to get rid of Fonseca. This is it. We're getting to past the 1/3 of the way in the season. We're at match day 13. We're past it. You had the chance to get rid of him. I don't know who you were going to replace him with, but now you have no choice.
Levi Yusuf with the eye. We didn't catch it. Sorry, Sonny. Usually we have to proof check these things, but there's a couple of mistakes on there. But listen, leave Sonny alone. He's doing this shit in the middle of the day. But G, what are your thoughts, man, when you look at the table here?
It's just sad, man. I mean, look, 7th place, man. That's Conference League, man. You ready to go? Like, are you ready to watch us on Thursday nights with Noah FC? Like probably like we're gonna be playing MLS team next year in Europe, bro. Like we're gonna be playing like there's really Noah FC because I know it because Chelsea just played them. So those are the type of teams that we're gonna be playing because nobody at Milan top to bottom could figure stuff out. Just disappointing.
Just disappointing. So those are the standings as they sit after match day 13. Let's move on to the next segment. That segment was brought to you by Football Canada, the home for Serie A and the Premier League. Check them out. All right, let's our favorite segment, me and Steve. Here we go. It's time to check in with the Fantacalcio. Even though I can't even see the damn screen, maybe somebody can tell me. Bandito sitting in first currently.
Bandito.
Heim Rule Milanista sitting in second place, winning 11 after that. Any names on here we can notice? Chooch FC, Alex, big up to him. That's a name I recognize. Chicken Carm sitting in 14th place. Chicken Carmine's dropped off a little bit this season in the Fantacalcio, but You know, it's hard to go back to back, Steve. How are you doing in your Fantacalcio?
Suck.
Yeah, I'm not
Royals
even.
suck.
What about you, G? You doing Fantacalcio this year?
Nah, I ain't doing no Fantacalcio, but I probably would have been in last place.
All right, so let's go. Okay, so let's get to our next segment. All right, boys. There's been a lot of talking, and you know, one person loves to talk more than anybody. So I have to ask the question because there was a comment that came out in regards to Pierre Kalulu with the move to Juve, that his brother was speaking and basically said that Pierre was disappointed with Ibrahimovic. Basically, the fact that they told Kalulu that he was on the outs and they were willing to move him when Kalulu was such an important part of our Scudetto run. Clearly, we go out and we spend $15 million on Emerson Royale, which is another bonehead idea. So I ask this because the mouthpiece of the team, despite that Moncada interview, which probably was a nothing burger in itself, Ibrahimovic coming back to the club in the fall of 2020, coming back as a hero almost. Last time we won a Scudetto, he was on the team. He was a valuable member of that team, coming back and seemingly turning the team around with Pioli after that terrible loss to Atalanta that season. And with the COVID year, seeming to change these players from a mediocre club to needing to raise their level to get back to the Champions League and have success. Now, all in all, after we've seen what happened with those 3 years that he was on the club, as soon as he steps away, he ends up the front face of Redbird with a position that we don't quite understand. He's the mouthpiece for Jerry Cardinale. We have a management that, honestly, overall, everybody's basically a bunch of rookies here. So I want to ask you, Steve. I know Gio's thoughts, and we'll get to Gio because he's going to be a lot harsher on this, but there's that old saying in The Dark Knight. Either you die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. And I have to ask, with comments like from Kalulu's brother saying they were disappointed in Ibrahimovic, in the video of the players seemingly saying hello but not really having any passion behind saying hello to him, I start to read that maybe this guy, as a player, will never have this sort of pull like he did as a player, as any sort of executive or management or sporting director, whatever his actual title is, which is still up in the air. He's just mouthpiece for Jerry and Redbird. Has he become the villain? Has he tainted the short but successful legacy that he sent with us to be deemed a legend? Has he tainted it now, Steve?
It's tainted, but this is a managerial fail. And it's a managerial fail from top to bottom. I'm done with the ex-players. I'm done. You want to try to do business model like Atalanta, buy cheap, sell high, replace cheap. Well, they have a system. They have a structure. They have a project behind that. It's either you get that project or you go into your pockets and you go buy their people to run that project for you. The Ibrahimovic, the Maldinis, guys, it's enough, guys. We were successful as a club for the longest period of time with actual sporting directors, actual presidents, actual people who did this for a living. We're not ex-players. Don't tell me Galliani was doing bicycle kicks, guys. I don't want to hear this. Braida was not scoring towering headers. Okay? It's that. It's you have to come with a plan. And the owner, at first, the Maldini thing was great. But you see what happens with that. It becomes toxic. If it happened to Maldini, guys, it's going to happen to Ibra. It happened to Seedorf. It happened to Gattuso. It happened to Inzaghi. It happened to Abate. It's going to happen to Bonera. Unless you're sitting like Baresi and
Masato.
Massaro in the stands where you're an ambassador, this is gonna happen. Okay, and that's the problem with Milan. I'm done. Inter had a problem. Inter had a problem, and they needed to fix it. They didn't have a sporting director. They went and get Juve's sporting director. That's big balls. That's a big ball move by a team that I have to give props to, because yes, their project was all over the place. Yes, their project was almost bankruptcy. But that project got them 2 Scudettos and faster to 20 than we did. And yes, a high payroll, but they're rolling. They're cooking. They're cooking. And us, what do we have? We have constant stupidity, constant bickering, constant disaster, because no one's on the same page. No one wants to, no one has a project. Don't tell me they have a project. It's not a project. It's a cost-cutting exercise that they're trying to do, because, Presidente is going to say tomorrow, it's because they want to build the stadium. Guys, Roma's been trying to build a stadium for almost 14 years. And I'm being generous, 14 years. And again, they came out with the same rendering they came out with 14 years ago. And they made a big stink about it. And they're not going to build it again. Serie A, I saw something online. They will have more than half the teams of Serie A owned by by a North American owner. That's either American, 90%, and one is Canadian. Okay? So we're heading down a route where if you have a good plan, you're going to be successful and you're going to be able to win. But if they don't wake up and they don't stop with this soap opera stupidity that's happening, I don't want to hear Ibra talk anymore. I'm fed up. And if the fans are starting to get fed up, that means the players have been fed up a long time ago, because he's not on the pitch anymore. They're not going to take his bullshit. You handed someone to your direct rival. That's not a very good first impression as someone who wants to be whatever the fuck title he thinks he has. So I don't care that he's God. I don't care that he's the lion. I don't care that he does Instagrams where they ask him who the best player is and he says Ibra. I'm done. I'm 43 years old. I love Milan. I couldn't give a fuck about you, Ibra. You're gonna go somewhere else. You're gonna do take a page in the fucking LA Times again, put the stupidity. I don't care. I want Milan to win. And if you're not the guy to do it, step the fuck aside, get your buddy Friuliani too, and put someone who can. But that has to come from Cardinale. He has to understand that. So someone take my video, send it. The fat guy from Montreal, Fabio from Long Island, and Gio from Compton, California.
We need real sporting directors. We need real people in charge that know what they're doing.
And the real sporting director is going to hire a real coach. The real sporting director is going to is going to keep Moncada doing what he does best. Scout. I don't want to hear these French league players anymore. I'm done. From the 19th division French league from some island that they own in Papua New Guinea.
Told you, Steve. Players. Gio has a theory on that one, right? That Moncada's scared to go to South America because of all the big booty Latinas. So, what's your thoughts? I know you've been sick of Ibra. You've been sick since the moment he showed up. You knew it was a publicity stunt. So, what are your thoughts here, man?
I mean, my problem with Ibra.
Turn your mic on. There you go.
No. My problem with Ibra, I knew I was too good to be true, man. And he just hasn't messed up the team, like the senior team. But we know who he is, Stevie P. We know who he is, Fabio. He said it in an interview. I'm the boss. Remember that one when he said that he's the boss?
Yeah.
But that's not here or there. But but like it's everything. Senior level, we had a good thing going with the Primavera. You basically fire Abate because Abate said no, Camara got more talent than your son, and you basically tell him to F up. Look at us now. From top to bottom, a futuro, trash. Everybody is trash because we don't know what part of the organization is doing. And then why? Where's Jerry? Do you not got? I know here in the States we have a lot of PR. Bro, why do you always want to talk after a bad result? Why didn't you come out and drop your nuts with when we beat up Real Madrid? No, you want to come and talk after we do the 3-3 versus Cagliari, and you want to say, nah, I'm here to win. I'm here to win Scudettos. I'm here to win trophies. I'm here to bring Milan back to its glory. Well, you're not. All of you guys are not. My problem with Ibra, I think, is done. I don't even want to see no more legends come through that door. I agree with Stevie P. We have more money than Atalanta. All it takes is to go knock on those guys' doors, say, you know what, I want to take all your staff for them, just like what Chelsea did with Brighton. They went to their staff. I'm gonna get your coach. I'm gonna take your sporting director, and now we're gonna scout. And now we're scouting. And that, to me, I don't know. I'm very disappointed because I just felt that he was just a filler. Cardinale was like, oh, you know what? These guys like Maldini. I'm going to put Ibra, another guy who came back and helped us win a Scudetto with his leadership. But to me, Ibra should be fired. All these guys should be fired because it's like, okay, you give Kalulu away. I'd rather Kalulu would have went to Nottingham Forest, guys, to be honest. I would have gave it to him for free to go to Nottingham Forest because that was one of the clubs. But no, you want to give alley-oop to Juve, and then you basically shit on us because you go and get Emerson Royale. And basically you just say, like, you know what, you guys are going to continue to buy your subscriptions, the jerseys. I know Gio's going crazy for the jersey. Everybody who's a collector too, like, we're going to buy all the shit because we love it. Like I said, we earned this badge behind us. They ain't earning that, and very disappointed to see like and I don't know. People might call me down. I don't think Ibra is a legend. I think he's a cool hero. Legends, or you know who a legend, Maldini, Baresi, guys like that. So
Ibra is a mythical figure. He's gone from Juve to Milan to Inter. He's been at them all, right? For me, there's only one legend that touched those three teams, and that's Roberto Baggio. And the rest are just, you know, he's great entertainment, and he was a great player. And again, you guys know my thing on world class. It takes me a lot to say world class.
I agree.
Class is one thing. World class is something else. You're missing a couple of trophies to hit that mark. But to go back to Jerry and the North American way, buddy, call your friend in Boston, because the Bruins, they fired a coach that had like a humongous winning record. Jim Montgomery. I know you guys, you don't like hockey, you don't follow hockey, but they were not doing well. They were one game under 500. There's 17 games in. There's 82 goddamn games in the NHL. They were not happy. You're out, buddy. You're out. We're going to put someone else new. And again, maybe it's a bad move, but the reaction is done. If you have someone to replace, let's go. Let's move on. It's not working. And if we see it, it cannot be that they don't see it.
I agree. It's really sad that Cardinale spends more time with Ben Affleck than he does Ibra, because right now that's all I ever see him is him and Ben Affleck having conversations about God knows what. Why don't you figure out what's going on with your club that you bought, you bozo? Speaking of bozos, Paulo has a good comment. He said, I make fun of Tottenham all the time, but they laughed themselves to sleep when they made the deal for Emerson Royale with cheese. AC Milan management chumps. Perfect segue into our only comment question from Patreon tonight. Comes to our boy, the Winnipeg Wonder, Vince Mancini. Good
the
evening.
Blue Bomber.
The Blue Bomber. Good evening, gentlemen. I just got to say I honestly can't understand the logical reasoning for starting Royale over Calabria. I totally understand Calabria ain't no significant upgrade, but for God's sakes, he's 100% more reliable defender over this wannabe right back. Calabria is Italian, has Milan in his veins. He knows the league, the competition, and is our fucking captain. On his good days, he's a solid defensive option. On his off days, he still strides better with defensive responsibilities. When you have to add a player to your 11 to clearly assist a weak running back, you know he does not deserve to wear those colors. I'm so sick and tired of screaming Morale's name in frustration every game. I don't remember doing this with Calabria. Trust me, Vince, you probably did. But bench this garbage and go back with something that works for now. Well, Vince, that's a perfect segue into our match day Champions League, match day 5 against Slovan Bratislava in whatever country that is, because I didn't look it up. So I'm sure somebody in the chat will tell me. But
it's Slovenia. Slovenia.
Is it Slovenia? All right, Slovenia. Perfect. It's in the name, but I didn't figure that one out. Everson Royale is doubtful for the game, so Vince Mancini, your prayers have been heard. Calabria should be starting. No Morata, though. It's an accumulation of yellow cards, so he will be suspended. So expect Tammy Abraham to be starting with Camarda on the bench. They showed a projected lineup that I saw today. They look like they're going to be going with Pulisic, Chukwueze, and I hope it's wrong, but it said Okafor on the left side. I mean, I don't know why they would do that with Tomori and Gabia starting center backs. I don't know. But what are our thoughts going into this game? This has to be, if any points were to be dropped, this has to be the end of Fonseca. Does it not, Steve?
Absolutely. This cannot go on further than this if points are dropped. If he's changing, and I won't believe it till I see it tomorrow on my phone. If he's changing formation again, guys, this is seriously, you have to start asking yourselves, we're at like Bush League soccer style tactics where you don't know what to do anymore, so you're going to throw shit at the wall and you're going to try to make it work. Right?
You're trying to make it stick.
Yeah. Like, I get Tammy Abraham. Great. Okay. Whatever. Okafor. No. You have to put Leao there. You have to find someone in the cam role. It's not going to be Pulisic because he plays better on the right. Find someone else there. Put Reindeers there if you have to. Put Fofana and Musa behind them. However you want to set them up. Not Ruben Loftus-Cheek. There's things that they can do to go get a result. You understand? I'm not saying this team. I'm not disrespecting this team. But Inter went to Hellas Verona and smashed them 5-0. We're going to travel in the Champions League. It's going to be a big team. It's going to be a big ticket item for this team playing at home. You have to kill this game right away, fast, and move on. But drop points, for me, equals Fonseca, you're gone. You're gone. Out. Finito.
Gio, what are your thoughts, man? You think we can...
I guess it's Slovakia, Fabio. My bad.
Yeah, Slovakia, Slovenia,
Yes.
Listen, geography is not good for Americans. That's all I can say. But go ahead.
I saw something, but it's the 3 points. I mean, we need that 2.6 million for winning the game. We need every money that we can get because you know how we're counting our pennies. But it's a win.
Yeah, Gio, you always there with the budget, my man. You know exactly how much every win costs.
We need to win. We need to win, and we actually need to win the next 4 games so we could have a bye. To be honest with you, I mean, this is what I want from the team. I don't think they have the balls to fire him, Stevie. I mean, I think even if they lose,
you want to buy. I just want to qualify. You want to buy.
Yeah, I want to buy. I want to buy, man, because we.
I want to buy Fonseca. That's what I want.
I want to buy Fonseca. Bye.
What do we think projection wise? What are we predicting here?
You have to come out guns
I hate
blazing.
predictions.
Yeah.
I hate predictions. They need to get 3 points. They need
Fair
to
enough.
get 3 points. They need to correct whatever problem they're having psychologically at this club, because this is not the Milan that I want, and I do not want to go back 10 years like you said. And I agree. We took this magical Scudetto year and managed to botch it because of a dick measuring contest between a billionaire and a millionaire, which is pretty sad. I don't know what the plan is, and that's what bothers me. I thought I did. Imagine I felt more comfortable with the Elliott Fund owning Milan than I do right now with Jerry Cardinale, and that was a hedge fund.
And you knew they weren't going to spend money. Every little dollar with the hedge fund needed to be. But again, I losing the change of management, having Furlani come in that last half season after what was his name? Gazidis. After Gazidis left, I think Gazidis also was an important member of that trio with him and Maldini and oh my God, the other guy's name. Jesus Christ, I'm losing names here. But
Masada.
I think that was Masada. Yeah, I think that was a valuable trio there that built a lot of success for us. Yes, they made their mistakes, but unlike this group of people that are in charge now, they identified that Gianpaolo wasn't the right person, and they clipped him as soon as they could, and they turned course, and in the end, it was the right choice. This management seems to be going longer and longer. Maybe they're going to let him eat the panettone. I don't know. I would prefer he doesn't. I wouldn't give him any of the turkey leg. He drops points. He's not coming to my house for no stuffing or mashed potatoes. I'll tell you that. But guys, tomorrow's game is at 12:45 here on the East Coast, 9:45 for my boy Gio. So he's going to have that Champions League breakfast going with Milan. Obviously, it's the 6:45 game in Europe. So check out the game. We're going to have, what are we doing, tomorrow night or Wednesday night? Well, when's Coast to Coast coming on?
I don't know, Fabio. I need this therapy. This team got me messed up. I'm being serious, Fabio. I take my teams personally, man. This shit really like fucks with me and stuff.
Me and Gio have no NFL to watch. All right, so from one football to the other, this is getting worse and worse for me and Gio. All right, as a Raider and Giant fan. Steve, I'm sorry about your 49ers, but maybe they can get back on track. Anyway, we digress, guys. We're almost at the end of the show. Parting shot time, as we like to do. Also, just a little check out the Busted Calcio tweet segments. They've been dropping. Great job by Jan and Sonny putting them together. Check them out. I know it's usually at the end of MWP, but we decided you got to give Jan some love. Busted Calcio is a great thing. Keep feeding him at Busted Calcio on Twitter, X, whatever the hell you want to call it. If you see any Calcio nonsense out there, Jan's got to get a hold of it. But G, we'll start with you. It's Stevie's show, so we'll let him go somewhat less. But you go first, buddy. What's your parting shot? I know you needed the therapy, so talk to him.
Nah, look, man, shout out to Jan, the originator. A lot of other content creators have taken this thing and not give him credit. So make sure to go watch my guy Jan. I told him I need my therapy, Jan. So, take the day off. But my parting shot is, man, 3 points or nothing tomorrow. If not, the only one that's gonna get stuffed is Fonseca on Thanksgiving. Somebody gonna have to catch him in the streets and watata him. But to me, 3 points. 3 points or nothing, bro. If we cannot, and you know what? Like Stevie P said, go there, take care of business. I bet you their pitch is crazy, guys. So if you don't take it by the scruff of the neck by the first 10 to 15 minutes, then we're gonna have serious problems. So I just want to say, you know what? We all go through it, but we'll be back every week, baby, because this is what we're gonna do. We love the club, and we're always gonna focus on the club. Club first, colors, badge, everything before anybody else.
We might be back tomorrow, G. We might be back tomorrow. My parting shot, let me give my plug to my club. Go watch, if you're in the greater New York area and you're going to be in Manhattan, 33rd and 5th Avenue, go to the Football Factory in Legends Bar. Go check out Milan Club New York. Go check them out, obviously, on their socials. super important to support the club. I had a great time. I got to actually visit the club this past weekend, and we got to suffer through this entire Milan Juve game together. And that's not even most of the people. There were a ton more people. That's just the people we were able to scrounge together at the end of the first half to take that picture. So big ups to everybody at the club. Big up to Remo. I hadn't seen him in a while, and a bunch of the guys, but Remo was back in action. If you watch Coast to Coast, you know who Remo is. That's my buddy right there. But that's my parting shot, guys. Make sure you support your club. Go to Milan Club Montreal. If not tomorrow, on the weekend, go to Milan Club SoCal. Of course, all of our buddies in Philly, in Boston, in Cleveland, and Phoenix, in Miami, in Dallas, in Chicago, everywhere that you can. Milan Club Hamilton, Milan Club Toronto in Canada. We got all the Milan clubs everywhere. You got to support, especially
Milan Club Montreal.
Milan Club Montreal. And of course, big ups to Milan Club España. They were in the building, not the same as Milan Club Madrid. They were over here in New York, so big ups to them. But Stevie, what's your parting shot for the people, baby?
This needs to rectify itself very quickly. I do not want. Last time I was on, I said I'm fed up of finishing fourth. I will be extremely pissed off if we don't make the Champions League. And I'm saying that because we're far behind. We're way, way far behind. That's almost double-digit points away. This is unacceptable. It's unacceptable, and it needs to be changed, and it needs to be rectified. I'm usually not a guy who deals well with what the ultras do, but I have to be behind them. This is unacceptable. This is not where Milan was supposed to be. We cannot be going backwards. We need to be going forward. And I want that goddamn second star. And I'm not going to wait another 10 years to get that second star. This is unbelievable, guys. It's unbelievable. We're so close to such a milestone, and we were heading in such a great direction where we needed to just do a little bit of tweaks, just stir the ship, in the right direction, get the right people in place, make some tweaks. No. We went, Monopoly style. We flipped the board. A billionaire had to cry. He wasn't happy with the club legend. Like, it's enough, this drama. It's enough. I'm done. I'm done with the drama. And like Gio said, and I've said it multiple times, Vinny says it too, Fabio, you agree. Guys, Milan is about the colors. So if you're there, Ibra, Fruilani, whatever the hell your names are, you're there to, pump your own tires, get the fuck out. Get out. Get out.
Hit the road, baby. But we'll see what shakes out tomorrow, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Everybody in the chat, everybody who supports the Milan Weekly Podcast. If you want to support, find us on Patreon and become a part of our Patreon family. Guys, for me, Gio, and of course, the legend himself, Stevie P, and for our brother Vinny T, ovunque e sempre.
Forza Milan, guys.
Forza Milan, everybody. Good night.